What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm joined by
Gersh1.
And we're doing it again. Another episode of For the Greater
WAAAGH. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question, because we get to those questions first. That is what the Zero Story did. He asks, who had more prerogatives and political military power in hand? Horus Lupercal, when he was a War Master, or Guilliman as Lord Commander now?
You gotta think about this. Guilliman is a strategist. He's very, well, I wouldn't say he's very charismatic, but he's a Primarch, so he has respect. He knew how a sector, how a large amount of space and people works because of the whole ultramarine sector of space was pretty much his kind of domain. So he knew how to lead a nation, so to speak. However, Horus was highly charismatic, very good strategically, and that is why he was chosen as the War Master. Because the Emperor could have chosen Guilliman to lead the Imperium as the War Master, but no, he chose Horus.
Yeah, so I would agree. Horus Lupercal had way more power than Guilliman, and he was able to do way more. Because even with other Primarchs around him, he was able to manipulate them.
Yeah.
Guilliman has not manipulated anybody, or he hasn't manipulated any other Primarchs because he hasn't gotten into contact with any of them.
After the Horus Heresy and Guilliman made basically the Imperium version 2, he didn't step up as their leader. He chose Sanguinius. So that kind of goes to show you that he felt that he himself wasn't the best choice to be a leader. Sanguinius was. And surprise, Sanguinius was BFFs with Horus.
Yep.
So Horus wins it, more powerful, and overall just a better leader.
Yep. Next question comes from Travis Becker. He asks, why are you avoiding my question? Because we don't like you. This is the second time you've mentioned Blood Ravens, a possible Thousand Sun successor chapter, and the third time asking. Maybe we've answered this before. Since Guilliman instructed Call to utilize only Loyalist Primarch Gene Seed from the Ultima Founding, does that mean that the Blood Ravens will not receive Primaris Space Marines?
We have answered this.
Yeah, we kind of answered it yesterday's video. Basically, what you're asking is if the Gene Seed comes from a Traitor Legion, are the Primaris Marines coming from that same Traitor Legion? And the answer is yes. The reason for that is that when Belisarius Cawl started this project, it was right after the Horus Heresy. So it actually was 10,000 years ago. And he was able to collect the Traitor Legion's Gene Seed and keep it a secret from the Imperium.
Right.
And now, he's giving those Primaris, Traitor Primaris to their legions that have showed that they're okay with fighting for the Imperium.
Right. Again, they're not going to admit that, hey, this is Chaos Tainted, or it could lead to Chaos Tainted Space Marines or anything like that. They're overlooking that for the greater good of the Imperium. Same reason as why, like, Xeno weapons are, outlawed, but they still use Xeno weapons. It's a fine line between overstepping laws and fighting, or using those same laws towards the goal of benefiting the Imperium. And in this case, they're Space Marines. You need more soldiers.
Yep.
And Cawl is willing to overlook it, at least in this aspect.
Yep. Next question comes from Lenny F95. He asks, can space battles happen in the warp? Yeah, because what you're trying to do is if you're an Imperial ship, you're trying to protect your Geller field, and if another ship that's been chasing you manages to destroy that Geller field while you're within the warp, you're done.
Yeah, demons and who's its and what's nots are gonna come inside.
It's gonna be like a really bad Dr. Seuss novel. Novel, not a book, a novel.
What a novel idea.
Yeah. Next question.
Man Stuff Channel. Should Games Workshop accept teeth as payment for work products?
You should try it. Go to your local GW store and then just plop down a bag of teeth. See what they say. Hopefully you don't get the cops called on you.
Where'd you get these teeth?
Yeah. Next question.
This one is by Brandon Hickman. What if the Horus Heresy had the reverse happen? So, for example, the good Primarchs were actually Chaos Tainted, and the Chaos Tainted were good. Oh, I feel like it'd be the same kind of end game. Like, same thing would happen. The chaotic Primarchs would still fight, rebel, and lose.
Yeah. Sanguinius would definitely be a vampire. Or some form of, like, sci-fi vampire thing. And that's what the whole Blood Raven line would be.
Blood Angel.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Blood Angel line would be. Which would be badass.
They're already kind of vampires.
Well, yeah, but they're good. So, like, they're supposed to be, as evil guys, I bet you they would have, like, warp entities following them around. You know how, like, vampires have like, minions that they control? I bet you there would be, what are those things called? Furies.
Oh, yeah. Following them into battle.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, their psychic powers, like, the wings of Sanguinius, it'd be, like, vampire wings. That'd be pretty cool.
Super cool. Next question comes from Shamiro117. Is it possible to breed a Space Marine with a Sister of Battle? If you put them in a room together and just, like, turn up the heat, yes.
That's how osmosis works.
Yeah. But no, the answer is no. Space Marines can't have children. Sisters of Battle are supposed to be celibate, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're celibate, but I'm willing to buy a bit.
Yeah. Lock me into a room with a bunch of Sisters of Battle.
Call you Osmosis Jones.
Next question.
Simon chirps. Who makes a better Primarch, Gersh1 or the Sound Alchemist? I feel like that's a question for you.
Yep. Comment down below who do you think would make a better Primarch, even though there's 2 lost Primarchs and there's 2 of us. So
Yeah.
We don't really have to decide.
Both.
Yeah. What would be my what would be my tactical thing? I haven't coughed in a while.
That's true.
But maybe coughing would be my thing. Like my Space Marine successor chapters and my Legion would just be like, they would cough acid. Because you know how like Space Marines can spit acid?
Yeah.
Yeah, like my Space Marines can cough.
It's not as potent because it's more of like kind of like a shotgun. Like it's spread out more, but it's not like...
That would be kind of cool. So it doesn't kill you, it just deforms you.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't throwing acid a thing somewhere in the world?
I hope not.
Yeah.
Like there's been acid attacks.
Yeah, that stuff is bad, man.
Yeah.
What would your thing be?
I would want to be known as like the mitosis chapter, where like whenever you kill a Marine, they like split off into 2 other Marines.
That'd be cool. Hell Hydra. And they'll be water based, right?
Yeah. We'd be like, we're the powerhouse of the Imperium. And have like each like the assaults would be like the mitochondria, the assault Marines would be like, I don't know,
Yes.
ribosomes.
Ribosome. You need to watch Aquaman. Aquaman, what you just described reminded me of Aquaman, the battle at the end.
Yeah. Yesterday it was either watching Aquaman or Shazam, and we chose Shazam.
Chose the wrong one.
I feel like we did.
Both movies, I haven't seen Shazam, but what you just said, both movies seem pretty crappy, but Aquaman is like a little less crappy. But yeah. Next question comes from Man of Krieg. Is it possible for a Dreadnought to be a chapter master?
Yes. There is one, isn't there?
Yeah, he's purple.
I was gonna say he's one of the purple chapters.
Yeah, I wish I knew the name. Maybe the Soul Drinkers? I can't remember. Next question.
Quanji. Excuse me. How fun is it to be an orc? Depends what kind of orc.
Well, see, the concept of fun doesn't exist within the orcs because it's just aggression. But then that's all they know. Like, you know that certain things aren't fun because you have felt what fun is. If you've never felt what fun is and you've only had anger and aggression, then you don't know what you're missing.
That's true.
What if there's like an emotion that we've never felt before?
It's called an orgasm.
Yeah. That's what I've never felt before.
But it's like, how do you know there's something you haven't felt? Like, you don't know what you don't know.
And who's feeling that?
Mm-hmm. Somebody's had to felt it and thrown it out there.
Alternate dimensional beings. Ayahuasca.
God bless you.
Next question comes from Average White Guy. Is there any way to ride orcs off planet besides is there any way to get rid of orcs off of a planet besides exterminatus, like a virus bomb or something? Thank you guys. Love the content.
I mean, you could virus bomb, you could do that thing that like burns the atmosphere, but like no matter what, you can't kill off 100% of the orcs. Like give it like 6 months and you'll have like orcs in the jungles and the swamps and stuff.
The most notable destruction of an orc empire was the Olonor Crusade. That's when the Emperor himself led all the Primarchs and they destroyed the biggest orc empire. And now it's Armageddon. And if you know about Armageddon, it is flooded with orcs. So, no.
Kind of like we are right now.
Yeah, we're flooded with something.
Hey.
Next question.
This one's by All Might. If pee is stored in the balls, why does it hurt so much when you get kicked there?
Because actually that's a good question.
Like it causes waves through your like testes and like the waves.
Oh, they reverberate. Yeah, they reverberate.
Yeah, reverberation isn't good.
No, especially when it's inside your body. Next question comes from Shamiro117. Is there a popular game in 40K universe? Is there a popular game in the Warhammer 40K universe?
I hear they play a lot of D&D.
Yeah, they play D&D in 40K.
They play Rogue Trader.
Rogue Trader. They do have the Emperor's Tarot cards, which I guess is kind of like a game. Doesn't mean anything.
Don't they play like Bakuman or like a chess type game? I forgot what it's called. But,
yeah. Speaking about D&D, Ginio Matherly asks, do you use miniatures for your D&D games, and if so, where do you get yours?
Yeah.
I definitely use. And where do we get them? GW. Age of Sigmar is an excellent place for you to like shop for D&D miniatures. If not, go to Cool Minis or Not. Their web store is closed right now. But you can find their like board games on eBay. There's a box set that I've been wanting to buy called I think it's called Fear or Hate. I can't remember, but it's a board game and it has a bunch of like badass looking like monsters and Vikings, and I want to get that.
Hero Forge is another place. But yeah, pretty much anything works really.
Next question.
This one's by Genio Matherly. If all Eldar are psychers, why doesn't the Imperium capture them and feed them to the Big E's golden throne?
Good question. We've answered it before. That's xenopsychic abilities.
We don't want no xeno filth touching our Emperor.
You gotta remember, the Imperium is super xenophobic, so they don't want none of that.
Like, what is that? That freaky thing?
Those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, send them our way. If you guys enjoy our content, thank our patrons on Patreon. It's because of them that we can create these videos. If you want to support us, link in the description. By you guys supporting us, you're helping us clear our minds. This is Gershwan,
The Sound Alchemist, and we are clearing our minds.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.